chance saved by BCB.
Incredible job by the Sooners. So much chaos in front of the net there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Arctic Edge Ice Arena, your site for Game 2 of 3 of this homestand between your Oklahoma Sooners and the McKendree Bearcats, rather, not Ice Bears. We get them next weekend. Sooners come out to a prominent 2-1 victory, a very heavy defensive battle. Goalies doing wonderful things in their creases, but eventually OU finds a way to get two past Grayson Skirpin before taking the lead. Willie, your thoughts on the game last night?
It was an interesting game. Really saw a lot of back and forth action in between the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of each period, and nothing really getting momentum, no real momentum building, no real penalties that were established offensive plays. It was really just a boring 10 minutes between the first 5 and the last 5 of each period. And really two good games from the goaltenders with Brendan Forden and Skirpin in net. So we will see how each team changes up their offensive strategy and maybe a little bit of defensive strategy as well.
Yeah, and the lone goal that came for the Bearcats came on that power play in the first period from the likes of Joe McCormick, who skated it the distance, and it was responded by an OU power play goal of their own from the likes of Tristan Glass. And then the Sooners eventually, towards the tail end of that second period, had Nate Monticelli, who the beat goes on for him as he gets his third goal in 3 games. Sooners looking to extend this win streak to 8. We'll be right back with Puck Drop. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Sooner Nation. Puck drop is upon us. Hasselhorst is in net this time for McKendree, not Grayson Skirpin. So we have that marked down and noted, unlike last game, and apologies for that. But nonetheless, we move forward. Couple of housekeeping issues for the Sooners as Carson Glass and Logan Motts are out of the lineup with injuries, and Josh Bells and Josh McDonald. J&J action will return tonight for OU. Glass will take the face-off against Alex Kent. We get ready to get underway here in Edmond. Face-off tie-up ends up back in the McKendree D zone. Voida looking to play forward to Kent. Can't find him. Turnover. Glass goes the other way. Monticelli, the most recent goal scorer for the Sooners.
Hey, he got the 9-iron out on that one and put it in, up into the netting.
Quick stoppage of play, dissimilar to last night's game where there wasn't a stoppage in play for the first 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 6 to 7 minutes, and then eventually it came to a screeching halt after that. Felt like it took forever. That was actually one of the faster games I think I've been to. We were out of here by about 9:15, 9:30 with a little bit of a delayed start. Similar to tonight, that Zamboni was having some issues, but Sooners look to get set up early. They couldn't find the first goal last night. Monticelli's shot tipped in front by Caden Martin, dribbled wide of Hasselhorst, and the peg is off for the net, so we'll get a stoppage and play here.
Well, good little start here. Hasselhorst getting into the game with a nice save off going through some traffic, and we're right back to some Arctic Edge pegs.
Tomfoolery.
Yes,
Yes,
as per
shenanigans.
usual.
But an early chance for the Sooners, which is what we saw last night as well. I believe they got the first 7 or 8 shots before McKendree answered in an efficient 1-for-1 on the power play. Sooners win that faceoff. Skylar Bockham trying to play it towards Davison in the bumper. Couldn't find him. Now the other way goes Begich for the Bearcats. Begich fires a quick shot on a Grayson Payne, who's in tonight in place of Forden. They're probably going to alternate. Forden will most likely have tomorrow's game. Forden saved nearly 35 shots last night. Looked as good as we've ever seen him. And he continues to have an amazing season, rivaling some numbers put up by OU goalie legend Brendan Culbertson-Bond. Kendry takes that face-off. Keel has it now. Surveys, eventually tries to spring forward to Lonsdale, rather. Tie up on the end boards. Davenport in there for McKendree. Eventually Bockham pokes it free. Garrett Narvaez has checked that.
Yeah, we'll see if McKendree can get a little bit more going on offense to start this game, unlike last game not being able to get a shot in for the first 7 minutes or so.
An initial good breakout pass from Ivan Gutierrez. Garrett Narvaez ended up turning it over for a moment. Kept it in the zone. Now the other way goes Oklahoma. Tristan Davison, he's got wheels. Davison in all alone. Shot on a Hasselhorst. Caught him center mass. Rebound collected by Lonsdale. Now McKendree looks to go in transition. Pass from behind the blue line. Lonsdale sprung forward, enters cleanly. Kagan, first man to the puck, plays it off his backhand to Charlie Blake and out of the zone. Ben Alexander to Lonsdale. Now Davenport hits the ref in the head, and then it ends up in the OU bench. We'll get another stoppage and play.
Yeah, Davenport really one of the impressive players for us last game. We'll see if he can continue that as he goes for a change here. But really a couple of impressive players for these Bearcats last game, and maybe didn't show on the scoreboard, but I feel like they were putting a lot of pressure on the Oklahoma defense.
Yeah, it seemed like a great all-around team effort. Every single line was given problems as Charlie Blake enters for Oklahoma. Shot, glove save from Hasselhorst. Good chance for the rookie, the leading goal scorer for this OU squad. Kagan trying to step into that pass, can't. A couple of turnovers here early on by both teams. Failed clearance attempt. Carson Spear has to check up. Dumped in by Brendan Wolf. Puck in behind Hasselhorst. Jack Sumner playing it forward. Turns it over in the neutral zone. We're going to get a stoppage in play here.
I don't know why they stopped that play. I didn't see it.
Yeah, not quite sure either, but
Face off at center ice, though.
yeah.
And with Nate Payne playing defense, we got Josh Bells taking the center role from him and going to center this Will Blake and Griffin Joy line.
McDonald for Oklahoma plays it to Matthew Salvatore on the other end for McKendree. Salvatore. Cole Stuckey gets it out of the zone. Griffin Joy sprung forward. He's got Bells on the wing. Joy, couple of dangles, loses the puck. A premature Kucherov move there, evaded everybody, and puck ends up in the corner. Alexandrov on his backhand, flips it forward. Turned over here to Joy now. Joy pulls it to his forehand, stays with it, and scores! Griffin Joy draws first blood on an individual play from the sophomore.
Yeah, Griffin Joy just going through a couple McKendree defensemen and getting it up and around Hasselhorf.
Great play by Griffin Joy. Hasn't seen much action, but with the departures of a couple of OU players, he's been sprung into this lineup and has been a more frequent face for the Sooners and finally gets rewarded here. I believe his first goal of the season. Second goal of the season for the Sooners.
Yes, he was able to get his first in Colorado last weekend, and now look out.
Don't let the kid get hot.
Yeah, 1 goal each weekend, gets his first ever as a Sooner. Might be his year.
Might be. Might be. We've seen it with Monticelli so far. Tristan Glass fighting in the corner. Keel there. Now McDonald for McKendree. Trying to skate it out. Can't. Glass all alone in front of the net looking for a Gutierrez. One-timer. Puck was dribbling wide. Might have caught a piece now. Monticelli flung that with some English on it in front for Caden Martin, but the connection was not there. Battle along the end boards eventually brought out. Joe McCormick, the only goal scorer this weekend so far for the Bearcats, plays it out into the neutral zone. Now, Sooners looking to enter. They can't. Now breakaway here for Begich, possibly Begich in on goal. Didn't have the angle. Grayson Payne fought it off well. It might have had just a bit too much speed on it for him to make a play. He split the D initially and got around a couple of bodies, but wasn't able to fight for a shooting lane. Now Caden Martin pressuring hard here in behind Hasselhorst. Martin still with it. Tied up looking for some help. Puck goes the wrong way and cleared by McKendree.
Yeah, and
now Kent in for McKendree. Begich wrists one right on a Payne. Rebound loose out for a moment, and Kagan's not going to take too kindly of that.
yeah, I was going to say another slow start offensively for the Bearcats, but then they make me eat my words and get a good opportunity on G. Payne.
Yeah, we see them match up size-wise, like we talked about last night, pretty even with OU, but we didn't really see any bursts of speed outside of that lone McCormick goal throughout the night on their offense attacks. They were trying to set up more strategically in their own zone rather than breakout passes and odd man rushes, but that one was an anomaly compared to how they were working last night. Kent loses the face-off. Josh McDonald takes it for the Sooners. Davison first one to it. Turned over, though. One back by the Sooners. Played back to Kagan. McDonald makes a nice move there. Hits Davison in the neutral zone. Narvaez springs forward. Backham lost the puck to Begich. McDonald keeps it in for the moment before it's eventually taken out by Begich himself. A couple of turnovers, and the other way goes to Alex Kent. Slap shot from Osansky. Caught the glove of Payne. He's not necessarily seen it might be as well as he does other nights, allowing for some rebounds early on.
Just a little fluttering puck. Maybe jumped on him a little bit, took a weird angle at his glove. Not really able to control that right away, but able to get the second rebound and have some help from his defenseman.
Sawyer Lonsdale, again, spear on this face-off. Sooners win it. And that's something that they were struggling with early on last night as well, and then eventually got their sea legs under them. But a turnover here. Reichel still possessing for McKendree, trying to center it to Davenport. Couldn't find him. There's traffic in front. Tisch has it for McKendree. Held into the corner, Amala pestering. And Voida comes away with it for McKendree. No icing, Spear tipped it. Reichel Davis working into the zone for Oklahoma, or for McKendree rather. Has it in the corner, looking for a centering option. Good stick there by Alex Kagan initially, and then the Sooners are able to come away with it. Mike Amala leading the rush. Long stretch pass. Sooners have a lane here. Charlie Blake in on goal. Blake centering feed to Spear, and a good stoppage by McDonald, clogging that passing lane, not allowing for the one-timer.
Yeah, good play, sliding, cutting down the angle, making sure that it was he was taking away that passing option.
And that's a pretty generous icing call going against McKendree.
Yeah, I think they'll be putting that one at center.
That kind of killed their momentum. They were definitely springing out, looking to get set up, and yeah, we're going to get center ice draw rather than that being in the Oklahoma zone, which, again, favors the Sooners heavily on this, but Bells will take the face-off, wins it, tied up, and getting a little physical down there. Joy flips it up, high flip to himself. Into the corner, and Bells, they're going to, oh, man, they're going to get a OU penalty coming up here. They're going to take Hasselhorst off, or should.
Oh,
we saw this.
They're taking both of them.
Okay, so an embellishment.
No, I think they're taking
Keel.
Keel for the tripping on Joy right at the end of that play. Joy was going after the puck in the corner, so we should have some 4-on-4 action.
Okay. That initial call was on Bells, I believe, for a cross-check of some sorts or boarding, but
I think they got him for boarding. I gave him a good little shove, a little ticky-tacky.
Little shove, but he never hit the boards. There was, it was about 5 feet out. That one, last night I could see some of that. Last night, but tonight this one was
a little soft to start the game.
But they're calling it fair. They're calling it even. We got a 4-on-4 here. I believe this favors the Sooners so far this season. Payne risks it from the point. Shot tipped by Spear. And Hasselhorst saw it cleanly all the way.
What a great read from Hasselhorst off the tip from Spear right in the middle of the ice.
Sooners are north of 30% on the power play and right around 85% on the penalty kill. 4-on-4, I wish the ACHA had a stat for that, but I think they're doing pretty well this season on that as well. Kagan risks it from the point. Good kick pad save from Hasselhorst, and the other way goes Alexandrov. Alexandrov, 2-on-2. Back is Nate Payne to help out on defense. And a backhand with hopes and dreams on it sails high and out of play.
Yeah, good sandwich from the below the dots there. Going right over Grayson Payne's head and into the netting. Really, a lot more movement from McKendree, getting side to side and moving it north and south instead of all the east and west they were doing last game.
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment that was made by their coaching staff that's helped them foster some more offense. Alexandrov getting pestered by McDonald, pushed off the puck. Alexandrov still has it, though, looking for a centering feed to Alexander. And away goes the Sooners on a 2-on-1. Carson Spear.
Oh, yeah.
Call him offsides. Charlie Blake jumped the gun just a bit too early on that.
Yeah, Charlie Blake not really able to drag his leg. If he was just a couple inches taller, he might have had it.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like 6'3".
He is. Yeah, we'll give him that. Hard to ask for much more, but Sooners will bring a speedy line out there with Bachem, Davison, and Narvaez. It's turned over, though, and given away to the Bearcats. Puck in front of the net. We're going to get a penalty against McKendree, which is going to turn this into 4-on-3 as Davison was taken down in front of the net, or excuse me, Bachem. And
yeah, it looks like Bachem caught a high stick.
Bennett Uchez, is going to take a seat. So 4-on-3 action. It's not something we usually see too often, but it's also rare to have an offensive penalty on a rush like that result in another penalty.
Yeah, usually it goes against the defenseman for holding or, tripping, but this one, Bearcat stick just came up and got Narvaez in the face mask.
So we'll have about a minute and 12 of 4-on-3 action. Sooners will have plenty of space to work with. Amala to Nate Payne. Nate Payne's going to hold the point. One-timer from Amala. Caught Hasselhorst center mass. And taken away and cleared.
I don't love that. don't love that shot to start off. Usually you want to get a little more side-to-side motion from Hasselhorf or whoever's in net, obviously. But Mike Amala electing to take that shot, and now with some speed.
He's going to dangle around the net, set up to Payne on the line, plays it over, cross ice to Spear. Charlie Blake gives it back to Spear. Sooners deliberating. Spear has a shot that goes off the blocker and over the net. Still in play, however. Voida getting hammered by Amala and Blake. 3 Sooners on 1 Bearcat. Payne has space, plays it back to Spear. Spear surveys Blake. Payne back to Blake. Wrist one on net. Caught Hasselhorst again. Center body. Sooners having a hard time placing their shots where Hasselhorst isn't.
Yeah, Hasselhorf really cutting down the angles, but the Sooners not getting any traffic in front of the net. Not really having anybody move into that from the low corner spot into the front of the net before the shot.
So we are back to 5-on-4. Ben Alexander fires it down, caught in center field by Skylar Bockham, who's still out there on this unit for Oklahoma. Bockham, cross ice to Davison. Davison has speed, has the angle. Play it around the boards. Garen Narvaez drops it off to Kagan. Puck held in, though, by McCormick, and eventually poked free. Sooners have to touch up and re-enter. Bockham on his backhand. Power play time winding down. Skylar Bockham, good blocker saved by Hasselhorst. Taken away and out of the zone, and that will do it for all the penalties.
Yeah, the Sooners really not able to establish themselves getting any rebound opportunities on Hasselhorf. He's really gobbling up all these rebounds and first opportunity shots, as well as the defenseman coming in and helping him out as well.
They're doing a much better job of that than they were last night. Now sprung forward, McKendree in on a rush, and a good glove save on the backhand by Grayson Payne. He looked sharp on that one. Trey Arumupase had a good chance there for McKendree.
Yeah, Trey really able to spring himself, get into a soft area in between the 2 defensemen and get a good opportunity on his backhand. That Grayson Payne came out and cut that angle down.
Face-off one offensively for McKendree. Shot held in at the point. Now Trey again with a shot that sailed over the net. This time it was up on end. Sooners looking to get going. Ivan Gutierrez. Backhand play to Nate Monticelli. They're going to say offsides on that. Sooners have to touch up. McDonald for the Bearcats trying to lead the rush here. Banked in off the boards, no icing. Refs are synced up here at Arctic. Love to see that clear communication. Puck play down low for Jonathan Davenport. Davenport having to fight off 2 Sooners in the Anthracites. Back-to-back home weekends wearing these jerseys. Payne to play it in behind his net. Monticelli, good job there. Silky hands. Springs forward. Glass. Gutierrez fanned on it. McDonald trying to get a rush going for McKendree. Alex Kent has options. Kent on the wing. Plays it down low. Shot, and what a save by Grayson Payne. Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Grayson Payne really exploding off of his left skate to come across and make that save. And the Bearcats getting these opportunities off the rush. You really going north-south, getting their speed going. Something that we did not see from yesterday.
Rasansky with more moves than a snake falling out of a tree feeds it right on to Kent's stick, and Payne was there to meet him kindly. Offensive face-off once again for the Bearcats. They've definitely had a lot more of these to start this game than they did last night. Rasansky.
Yes, and a lot more quality opportunities, I would say, as well.
Kagan on his backhand trying to feed it out. Held in by Voida. Voida down low to Kent. Blake plays it over to Gutierrez. Stretch pass for Oklahoma. Got intercepted right on the center ice logo.
Yeah, we're kind of back to this
Turnover
lull
here.
in between.
Monticelli to Bells. Josh Bells puts that right on a Hasselhorst. Sorry to cut you off there, Willie.
Oh, you're good. I was just saying, kind of this lull where the Sooners just aren't really moving as much or slowing down a bit in the middle of these periods.
Bells lays the lumber. Joy in on net, looking for his second. Just never had the opportunity to fire it on Hasselhorst. The other way goes Begic for the Bearcats. Begic holds up, trying to feed a man. He does. Ben Alexander wrist one on to Payne, rebounds loose. Payne stuffs it, gives the net a little bit of a kick on that too, to ensure a stoppage.
Yeah, Grayson Payne, that one kind of squeaked to his right side, and he had to be quick with the right pad to get back over there and make the second rebound save. Like I said, the Sooners, like, in the middle of these periods are kind of slowing down and not necessarily letting the other team back into the game, but just...
It looks like they're playing with about 50% energy. Yeah.
You know?
We'll see what they can answer with. Amala has it to Charlie Blake. He's defended well by McKendree. Amala working into the corner with Alexander. It's taken away by Davenport. Reichel Davis springs forward. Davenport through the neutral zone. Gutierrez trying to meet him with a stick check. Can't. Davenport looking for a centering opportunity. Can't get it. And away goes Oklahoma. Amala shovels it to Charlie Blake. Blake, long distance shot. Goes wide of the net.
I think Hasselhorst got a piece of that. Let's see if it counts on the score sheet for him.
Good hit there. Reichel Davis dumped Carson Spear into the bench there for a moment. Oliver Keel has it for McKendree and behind Hasselhorst. We saw this last night, except it took a little bit longer for them to decide what to do. Good forecheck by Skylar Bockham. He's going to put...
Yeah, the Sooners getting more aggressive on the forecheck today, not really playing that trap that they were.
Turnover here, and Tristan Davison's going to get to it. He's going to feed Narvaez, looking for centering feed to Bockham, and it just caught up on. Second chance for Davison off the pad of Hasselhorst.
That's unfortunate for Bockham. You hate that as a forward, that puck rolling on you right when you're about to take that shot in the middle of the slot. He had nobody around him.
Bockham has a chance to make up for it here. Tight angle shot off the side of the net. Popped off the water bottle. Bockham centering feed for Davison. Caught it in his skates. Wrist one wide. Didn't have enough on it to prove much of a threat. Now Nate Payne. Nate Payne wrist one blocker save. Rebound loose for Narvaez. A couple of good chances here for Oklahoma. Davison pushing that into the glove of Hasselhorst before it's played and turned over.
Hasselhorst really keeping the Bearcats in this game right now. The Sooners have found their legs again.
Not quite under 5 minutes to go, but maybe they're getting a little early here. Now a chance for Caden Martin on the rush. Martin wrists one wide. He's got some power in his shot, but didn't get a lot on that one. Good check there by Tristan Glass. Matthew Salvatore turns it over. Monticelli on his backhand, fanned on it. Sooners still applying a lot of pressure in the offensive zone. McKendree hasn't had an answer so far. Ben Alexander will play it forward. Now it eventually exits the zone cleanly. Alexandrov trying to fight for it. Alexander coming in there to clean things up. Monticelli doing some good work in his own zone. Takes a hack there for a moment. Held it up at the end wall. Glass gets taken down. Slap shot hits off the post. Maybe more the outside of the netting. I think Payne got a piece of that as well.
Yeah, the Bearcats really getting in on this forecheck now. Getting some tired Sooners out there and taking advantage.
Trey working it.
We have a Bearcat that just fell into his own bench.
For McKendree. Puck held in by Will Blake, looking for Griffin Joy. Will Blake, tight angle. Caught up high on Hasselhorst, but a good shot from that angle. Made it a difficult save. Joy just trying to keep it in, does. Now Josh Bell's glove save by Hasselhorst. Sooners are peppering him early on in this game.
Yeah, and Hasselhorst really keeping the Bearcats in this game right now. A lot of strong opportunities, especially coming from the middle of the ice. Josh Bell's with an opportunity. Will Blake having one to the right side. And Hasselhorst just making these big-time saves.
Got a fourth line look somewhat third or fourth line look for the Sooners. Bells, Joy, and Will Blake out there for Oklahoma. Faceoff was tied up and eventually taken away by Begich. Begich on his backhand looking for McDonald. Can't find him. Turned over and away goes Joy. Joy working it down in the corner. Keel drops it off nicely for Will Blake. Shot put in front of the net. Tipped by Joy. It was a slow mover, but enough to cause problems for the Bearcat netminder. Alex Kent trying to get it out. Heads up. That one caught a piece of something, and that I don't think we've had a puck come at us from the side angle before. We've gotten it from the front, but we'll get an OU.
They're getting closer and closer to us.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. Yeah, it's always a little daunting. You could probably hear that ping of it hit the stanchion here.
But again, Hasselhoff making another big save within that play.
Great face-off win by Spear. Cole Stuckey throws one out in front. Looking for something, can't. Kagan trying to hold the line, does. That's Spear on the back end of things, and away goes Oliver Keel for McKendree. Dumps it in on his backhand, Payne to play it. He's got time. Elects to put it to Stuckey. Now Charlie Blake. Yeah, Sooners trying to break out here. Good flip from Mike Amala. Push into the OU zone. OU looking to hold it once more. Lonsdale's on it. We're going to get a penalty here as Mike Amala goes down.
Yeah, Mike Amala took one right on the numbers in the corner.
Yeah, we're going to get another look at this.
Spear making sure that he knows that he's not going to be allowed to do that again.
We're going to get some discussion going on here. Make sure Amala's okay. But another power play opportunity for Oklahoma. They're just going to call it 2 minutes on Alex Kent.
Yeah, we'll see what this first line power play look is going to look like with Nate Payne kind of taking over the top on this first unit. Actually, it looks like Alex Kagan's going to be taking over the top.
No Tristan Glass.
Yeah, Tristan Glass was on that second unit with Will Blake running it last game.
And that's what worked really well for them. Now Skylar Bockham in off the crossbar. Just missed by inches. That nearly went bar down for a very quick opening power play goal.
Yeah, Bockham taking his time, walking in. McKendree giving him way too much time on that far circle.
Sooners have to reset. They'll break out. Looks like some sort of design play here. Spear working into the zone on the face-off dot. Spear holding it the whole way. We saw this last night as well on those entries. Kagan just misses it. Got him. 5-hole. Quick reset here for Oklahoma before it's eventually turned over by McKendree.
Good time killing by the McKendree forward right there.
Uches, who was in the box for the first one, doing a lot of heavy lifting on this PK for the Bearcats on this other one. Now Tristan Davison off the skates of Davenport. Sooners have to get reset again. Other than that lone shot from Bockham, we haven't seen much in the way of chances for the Sooners.
Yeah, haven't really been able to get a clean zone entry. Spear was able to take a lot of space on that first one. Yeah, that was offside.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Spear was able to take a lot of space. McKendree gave him a lot of space on that zone entry, and then the turnovers in these last couple attempts to get back into the zone have just not helped out at all. But with 37 seconds left on this power play, we'll see if they can get back into the zone and get some more shots on Hasselhoff, who's been playing incredible this first period.
Narvaez all the way in. McKendree looked like they just wanted to watch him go. And that shot took a piece of something. But an offensive zone faceoff with 30 seconds left, OU has to be happy with that last sequence of events to get it a little further up ice. And
yeah, like I was just saying, getting another opportunity, which is something that the Sooners haven't really able to been getting into these zones. So we'll see off this faceoff play if they can get anything set up like they did on the first attempt.
Glass, one of the best in the business, wins that one. One-timer from the point. Mike Amala, who drew the penalty back out there, fired that one with some emphasis. Davison not on the same page. Puck not held in by Will Blake. Sooners go quick. Fire it in. Narvaez trying to beat Alexander. He does. Now Glass with it. Just under 10 seconds to go on this power play, and that's going to do it. So Sooners go 0 for 2. Narvaez having to dump that in.
Yeah, I like the shot by Mike Amala, but again, just no traffic in front, able to get any tip or screen in front of Hasselhorf. He's going to be catching those all day.
Josh Bell's doing a good job fighting off that zone entry for McKendree. Definitely more of a defensive forward. Trying to break out for Oklahoma. Plays it wisely in open space to Gutierrez, not trying to force anything.
Yeah, you're in the last minute of the first period here. You definitely just want to come away with this lead. Make sure that you don't give any false momentum that is not needed to the Bearcats.
Sooners are going to rival one of their highest first period shot totals that we've seen in quite some time, if they can get to 20. That one's dumped in. Shot. Caught a piece of something and out of play. Brady Nance on that last attempt for the Bearcats.
Yeah, the Sooners putting up a 19 spot on the shooting right now. Really impressed with this first period. They had that little lull of like 7 or 8 minutes where there really wasn't anything going on for them, and then snapped right back into action.
Yeah, without that good work from Hasselhorst, it could be a much different game for them. Throwing any other goalie that's not having a night, and Sooners could be up by 3. Sooners touch that offsides. It was the correct call. Spear not too happy with it.
Neither is Charlie Blake. Giving some arguments.
Yeah, they were looking to get set up on some sort of give and go almost. You could see the conception of that play, but party foul from the linesman on that. Face-off won by the Sooners. Spear takes a seat. Hasselhorst kind of misplays it, and now gets caught up with Keel for a moment. Sooners didn't have the jump on it. Sub 30 seconds to go in this opening frame. And Trey has it where the Bearcats holds up, turns, spins, looking for a centering feed to Brady Nance. Nance's centering feed. Didn't find anybody.
Yeah, looking for somebody in the middle of the ice there and just couldn't find anybody. Grayson Payne was trying to fix his net before the ref noticed.
Yeah, Nance put that in the right spot. Nobody was there to cash in on that. That was a yawning cage. Payne didn't have that space covered and wouldn't have had it covered most likely if there was a well-placed shot. So call that a big missed opportunity for McKendree.
Yeah, I'm surprised the defenseman didn't step on down because the forward was cycling up to cover his position.
We're going to get a penalty here called against Oklahoma. Yeah, it's going to be a high stick. Lonsdale holding his neck. Amala is going to be the perpetrator. It came off the face-off there.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Obviously,
it was an instantaneous reaction.
Yeah.
So, you know he wasn't selling it. And
maybe getting up with the butt end of his stick on accident, or. But obviously, that's in the face-off, dog. That's hard. Those are always hard to see.
Yeah. Referee came in with conviction, throwing that arm up right away. So he saw what was probably the correct call there, and a quick power play to end this period, and they'll start with it as time winds down, and that will do it for this first period. So the Sooners, from the likes of Griffin Joy, jump out to a 1-0 lead, reverse what we saw last night. Before we jump to intermission report with Elijah Lena, we would like to welcome OU Hockey's newest corporate sponsor, Appliance for Less. Family-owned and veteran-owned for all your appliance needs. Go by 2 of their 5 locations. Northwest OKC and Norman, 8105 Northwest Expressway Street, OKC, 73162, and 1302 North Interstate Drive, Norman, Oklahoma, 73072 for free delivery and 10% off store-wide this weekend, only for all hockey fans.
How's it going, Sooner Nation? I'm Elijah Lino doing your intermission breakdown here for the first period. Sooners currently up 1-0 on the McKendree Bearcats with a goal from Griffin Joy. Let's go ahead and take a look at that goal here. So it's an OU zone entry, and you'll just see it here. Griffin Joy walks the puck in, gets a pass off into the slot, and just walks it past. We get over here, I think a little bit ahead of myself. Sooners work the puck in. Here we go. Griffin Joy just finds some open ice in the slot and just sneaks it past the goaltender from McKendree. Puts the Sooners up 1-0 early in the first period. And then after that, it was all Sooners with the shots, leading 22-7 on McKendree. Big highlights, though. Grayson Payne shutting down the Bearcats. They had 3 great shot opportunities. Payne had 3 great answers. A pad stretch save there, as well as a good flash of the leather for Grayson Payne, helping keep the Sooners up ahead here in this one. Going into the second period, some things I want to see from each team. For the Bearcats, just better passing in the neutral zone. There's a little bit of sloppy passes that gave the Sooners a lot of open ice. They were able to take advantage of that, and that's kind of what contributed to the Sooners getting a lot of shots on net. For the Sooners, same thing. I mean, for the most part, the passing was good there. There's a couple of neutral zone passes that I was just kind of like, you might want to tighten that up a little bit. But for the most part there, Sooners playing good hockey, covering the shot lanes well when they were on defense. Sooners did a really good job there. Take away some shot opportunities from the Bearcats and keep the Sooners up in this game. Some players to look out for if you're the Sooners. Carson Spear had several shot opportunities for the Sooners. A couple breakaway chances that just couldn't find the back of the net. But keep an eye on him here going into the second period. Another one, Skylar Baucom. He was looking active there towards the end of the first period. Getting some passes off, being in the right place at the right time, and that's if you're the Sooners, that's what you want to need, especially with the amount of injuries that the Sooners have accumulated over the beginning of the season. Most noteworthy, Aaron Best out with an injury, as well as several defenders for OU. Josh McDonald and then Joshua Bells came back here in this game. They went out last game against McKendree, but they were able to come back. So some injury update for you there. Second period underway here in 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Sooners up 1-0. We'll catch you going into the second period.
Welcome back, Sooner Hockey Nation. We are ready to get the second period underway. Sooners still have 1:54 to kill off of this minor penalty to Carson Spear on that high sticking that happened in the tail end of that first frame. They'll have to set up. Willie and I were discussing the pros and cons of having a power play that kind of bleeds over into the start of a new period. He likes it. Well, explain your reasoning.
So I like it because of the new ice. Obviously, if you get a bad cut, that changes everything. I mean, if he leaves puddles and stuff out there, or a hot day outside, being in Oklahoma, the ice could be terrible. But being that it's cold outside, it's going to be nice and crisp for these passing that you want to do.
Yeah, it's cold outside, cold in here. Thanks to Sophie DeMint, we are warmed up with hot chocolate. She has funded the entire broadcast crew, working production tonight. That one fired out of play. Good early clearances by Oklahoma and then clogging those lanes up. We'll see. To me, that was kind of their, Oklahoma, at least on defense, their biggest issue was clogging these passing lanes once McKendree entered, allowing for opportunities, which is not what we saw last night. We'll use reference to that a lot because that was one of the best defensive games I had seen from Oklahoma.
Yeah, just able to clog up the middle and the neutral zone and the offensive zone a lot yesterday, and not necessarily doing a bad job, but obviously just not doing as good as they did yesterday.
Yeah, it allowed for a lot more early chances in that first period tonight than it did last night. Shots still heavily in favor of the Sooners, 22-8. McKendree looks to have a word with that. Zone entry, Nate Payne takes it away, working both ends of special teams here, fires that one down. 3 clearances in a row for OU is going to bleed that time off for McKendree.
Yeah, McKendree not really able to get a good setup going. They get 1 or 2 passes inside the zone, and then a turnover happens, and it's cleared by the Sooners.
So an entry by Lonsdale there, looking to get set up. Tish rather, gets it poked free from Will Blake. Orsanski has to reset for the Bearcats. He'll take it himself, drop pass over to Begic. Begic swings it over to Lonsdale. Lonsdale rips one into the midsection of Kagan and out of play.
I think he took that one off the ankle, and Kagan plays with some small shin pads, so
okay.
He always, whenever he's blocking those ones around his ankle and stuff, he feels them.
Yeah, he's laboring a little bit, but he's doing his job.
I had big shin pads. I always liked the big shin pads.
What's the downside to having big shin pads versus little shin pads?
Well, obviously you're not more weight on you. You know, we're carrying around 20, 30 pounds of hockey equipment, but
power play time expiring, and expired for McKendree. Baucom lost his stick on that. Davison comes onto the ice for Oklahoma. Full line change. Penalty killer's off. Sooners look to get set up. Garen Narvaez, blocker saved by Hasselhorst and out of play.
Yeah, the small shin pads, in my opinion, were good for like the smaller guys, their movement, but I was never that fast. That's why I played with small shoulder pads, though. I was never getting hit up high that much.
Everybody has their own little thing they like about, and with their equipment. It's not much is customizable, but to your own needs. Like, you know, you think of like baseball players and the metrics that they put into making those bats and their gloves and their guards and all this stuff, and it's a lot different than that. As we see a couple of shots hitting players, taking them down, as now glass gets ran into by Ben Alexander. Michael Davis dumps in for McKendree. Puck played in behind Payne. Centering feed, just missed Davenport. Alexander held the line, though. Lonsdale's been out there for a while. Pass it off for Jack Sumner. Sumner over to Davenport. Now back to the point. Shot. Missed the net. Lonsdale still maintains possession. Sumner again swings it over to Alexander. Alexander's shot looking for traffic. Can't find it. Michael Davis was the lone man in front with 2 Sooners. Payne caught it, flushed it, sent it into the corner. And that's where Tristan Glass gives a friendly push to a Bearcat, and the other way goes Oklahoma. Nate Monticelli, drop pass over to Caden Martin. Martin trying to feed it back to the Italian Wisconsin. Davenport, a couple of nice moves, fired it wide. Second chance there off the boards for Sumner. Tight angle. Now Michael Davis Fires one, blocker saved by Payne. Poor clearance by Monticelli there. Feed out in front of the net. Got caught up in the bodies. And Spear will take it away for Oklahoma. Dumps it in. Sooners going off for a change here.
Yeah, McKendree able to set up some offensive attack. They were honestly better doing it 5-on-5 than they were in the power play this last attempt.
Dump in collected by Ivan Gutierrez. Sooners having to do some work early here in their own D zone before eventually Charlie Blake comes in with speed. Got caught up trying to feed on his backhand. It's turned over. Alexandrov working it forward. Josh McDonald doing a good job stepping in. Centering feed to the other McDonald. Couldn't find anybody, and the puck is out of play.
Yeah, Josh makes a good play in that corner, holding up and tying up his man, but he just gets no support. The center lacking behind a little bit, and McKendree able to come pick that up and get an opportunity.
Salvatore looking to get set up on this face-off for the Bearcats. He'll actually go back to the wing. Alexandrov will step in place. Garen Narvaez loses that to Alexandrov. Voida plays it down low, turned over. Nate Payne just missed Davison, but plays the bank.
Nate Payne's starting to eat up some minutes on these on this D side. Huberty rotating him in a little bit more now.
Sooners have the depth to deal with these injuries. It's part of the bonus of getting so many young, fresh guys in from juniors. Narvaez making McKendree work for it. Tisch plays it off, turns it over. Tristan Davison in. Davison just missed Backham, a little bit behind him on that pass. Played it down low. Davison now with it again. Turned it over. Voida and Salvatore come together to spring forward. Alexandrov. Alexandrov looking for a centering feed. Missed on that. And
Josh McDonald with a quick stick to make sure that shot did not come off.
they look to cycle once more. Alexandrov looking hot. Brady Nance just missed him. Josh McDonald softly passes it to Narvaez. Eventually turns it over. Sooners having some troubles to start this second period with turnovers. Puck dumped in, no icing. Jack Sumner will get to it first for McKendree. Nance runs into the official. Stuckey fired that in from about 60 feet.
This new look line, they have Tristan Glass out there instead of Josh Bells. I don't know what has happened to Bells or anything. If he's feeling all right, okay.
Hopefully so. It made a stoppage of play there for an icing. Might have been a unnecessary but potentially harmful premature injection into the lineup due to the other injuries to Glass, Carson, and Logan Motts.
Well, what I heard yesterday is that he was supposed to be playing yesterday, and then now he's back in playing today. So we'll see if he gets back out there or not. I believe they are playing with an extra defenseman instead of an extra forward like they usually do.
That's definitely looking like there's an extra defenseman out there with these scoring opportunities, or the lack thereof so far to start this second period for both teams.
But Griffin Joy and Will Blake kind of sticking it out together and then just rotating in this the center. They had Nate Payne, then they had Bells, and now they're on to Tristan Glass.
A lot of adjustments being made. Coach Arvanitis likes to do that throughout the season. Most coaches it kind of depends on the coach, but we'll get set with a certain group of guys in a certain place and usually stick with that for the most part and stay consistent. Coach Arvanitis likes to change things up all the time. And as Begich splits the D, fires one wide. Rebound off the boards for Alex Kent. Hit off the side of the netting, and the netting also dislodged. And Begich in a little bit of discomfort as he crashed into the corner.
Yeah, that was a good individual effort. And getting around the defenseman and getting that shot off. And then little bounce off the boards, almost looked like the Boston Bruins play against the Leafs. Unfortunately for myself as a Leaf fan.
Offensive zone faceoff for McKendree, tied up by Kent. Glass trying to get it out. McDonald holds the line. Shot hit Cole Stuckey in the chest, and then eventually it's clear. They're going to say no icing. It was tipped by Oliver Keel. Didn't have the pace either to make it. Keel working, starting his engine, trying to get going. Intercepted by Amala. Good hand-eye there. Blake, that missed his stick and will be icing. It's another offensive faceoff for the Bearcats.
Yeah, kind of another slow second period. You know, we had this yesterday and not a lot of action. And, you know, we had the first 5 minutes, which had a lot of action. Then these last I would say last 4-ish minutes, there's not really a lot of opportunities.
No team is playing bad, but no team's also playing that good right now with these turnovers. And, you know, apart from that Griffin Joy individual effort there on Hasselhorst's, it would be a 0-0 game.
Yeah, and Hasselhorst really, like, kept them in the first period and now hasn't had any shots this second period, coming in on 8 minutes into it.
Oklahoma looking to get their first chance there. Spear, good stick from Lonsdale. He was looking to tee that off. Scotty Scheffler style. Now Amala one-timer! And Hasselhorst came sprawling across his crease to save that. Nearly beat him 5-hole. Amala on a second chance. Glove save by Hasselhorst.
Yeah, and again, Hasselhorst really playing well. That side-to-side movement in saving that one-timer. Looks like Grayson Payne making that in the save in the first period.
The battle of the 30s tonight for both teams. In net, and at Davison, Narvaez bottom line is going to step out there, try to get something going for the Sooners. Aaron Narvaez fanned a couple of times. Eventually it's played back to the point, blocker save with traffic in front, and they're going to get a penalty called against McKendree. Payne trying to come off quickly for an extra attacker. It's going to be interference, I believe.
I don't love that.
Or a trip. I didn't.
Oh, it's a trip on the goaltender, Hasselhorst.
Hasselhorst is going to get a minor penalty here. I still didn't really see it that well. Or
I don't know how Hasselhorst got the penalty when he was still holding onto his stick in the kind of the squared position as a goaltender.
We try to provide as much unbiased commentary as possible here on OU Hockey TV, and this is one where even, you know, obviously we are Sooner hockey fans and attendees of the University of Oklahoma, will question both sides of officiating as fairly as possible, and that's one where OU really is getting a blessing here.
Yeah, it was almost like a little home call, but the Sooners were pretty much unable to get any good opportunities the last power play, so we'll see if McKendree can shut them down like they did on the first one.
Sooners 0 for 2 to start on the power play. They were 1 for 1 last night from the likes of Tristan Glass. That beautiful tip in front of the net. It's going to be a little bit of a no, it's going to be the same unit. That second unit out there to start. Will Blake sets up from the point, works it to Brendan Wolf, Amala rather. Played down low to Glass. Amala back up top. Will Blake. Narvaez, Blake. Little exchange here between the two of those as they alternate positions. Narvaez keeps it in off the wall. Held in up top. Will Blake, a lot of space. Bouncing puck. Amala didn't have a beat to get there and fire it home. Amala. Eventually it's cleared by McKendree.
Yeah, just nobody in front pretty much the entire power play. Not really able to take away one of the defensemen and make it kind of a 4-on-3 on the outside.
Well, you saw how well it worked last night. It was very efficient.
Exactly, and you have a big body like Tristan Glass in front of the net who's going to get tips on those pucks that are coming towards him. So I feel like the Sooners need to put somebody in front and keep them in front. I've
been saying that for years, Willie.
Well, you're telling me, man. Said it when I was on the team, now saying it when I'm off the team.
Kagan having a reset for Oklahoma. Baucom trying to enter here for Oklahoma. Does. Trying to dump it in, but can't. And turned over and cleared by McDonald. So that'll do it for this OU power play. They go 0 for 3. Bit unconventional. They're usually a 1 for 3 on average team. North of 30%, so.
Yeah, I would just say a little slow, a little sluggish on that power play. Not really able to really pressure the defense and get anything moving.
Both power plays for both teams actually look very similar. Caden Martin, wrist one high. Might have caught a piece of Hasselhorst on the glove.
Man, he's got a missile. If he can get that on target more. Because we were saying that yesterday, too.
Yeah,
He put like 2 or 3 over the net. And you got to start telling him to shoot low at the pads. It'll start going through the goalie.
Yep. Oliver Keel enters on his backhand, brings it forehand, and now OU, Josh McDonald, going to get nabbed for a hook. And a Bearcat power play to boot.
Yeah, I also don't know about that one either.
I think based on the previous one, if you know, this is the
call?
precedent that the officials are going to set for this weekend, which is totally okay, that those types of what would be referred to as ticky-tack are going to be called, and they're called for both sides. So that's all that really matters in my eyes.
Yeah, maybe a little makeup call for, in my opinion, a soft tripping call. But we'll see what McKendree can do. Unable to, well, they scored 1 on the power play yesterday off that rush.
Yeah, they were 1 for 4 last night.
And there's Josh Bell's back out there, so. Josh Bell's and Tristan Glass.
Tisch will set up for McKendree. Lonsdale trying to send it around the corner. Puck bouncing, eventually lands on Tisch's stick. Now Begich swings it over to Lonsdale. Lonsdale's shot, rebound loose in front of the net. He had time to go grab a cup of coffee and come back before any sooner got to that.
Yeah, McKendree just not able to turn around and find that rebound that Grayson Payne gave up. But that was a good, strong start to their power play. And now we're kind of back into the same thing where they're not able to break in.
Ebbs and flows of hockey. That's what we're seeing tonight and what we saw last night as well. Voida will dump it in for the Bearcats. Payne to play it. He might try to clear this himself. Nearly did, and that was dangerous as Davenport was waiting for it.
Yeah, I think he should have left that for Alex Kagan and let Kagan kind of flip it over everybody. But
soft wrister landed into the belly of Grayson Payne. Stoppage in play. They did have bodies in net, or bodies in front. And that, as you mentioned or alluded to, Kagan and Payne having that conversation for a brief moment about him leaving that puck in an opportune area for Kagan to play it rather than holding on to it.
Yeah, same frat. They'll figure it out.
Keel will set up. Ben Alexander's shot fired right into Kagan's skates. No problem there. Kagan blows a tire. Kind of trying to just fall on the puck, kill off some more time. Nearly tripped up Davenport there. Gives a shove. No call there. Was the right one. Alexandrov. Back to Davenport. Just under 30 seconds to go on this McKendree power play. Shot fired into Stuckey.
First time I've seen Stuckey out there on the PK. He makes a big block there, and he's feeling it.
Chance here for Charlie. Blake shorthanded now on a rush. Keel's got speed, though. Blake's shot fired onto Hasselhorst, but that'll do a good job of killing the remaining seconds on this power play for McKendree.
Yeah, we had both the Blake brothers out there together on this PK.
Voida seemed to get lost in the sauce, as they say, on that blue line. He was kind of deliberating on what to do and ended up not doing anything at all, and Blake just took it away. Good job there. Smart just to fire it on net, not do too much with it and turn it back over the other way.
Yeah, don't want to be, going up ice and then getting yourself caught with a bad turnover, trying to make a move in the middle.
Face-off tied up and taken away by McKendree. Power play time winding down as McDonald will step out of the box, make it 5-on-5 once more. Sooners clean on the PK tonight. McDonald trying to make up for his infraction for Oklahoma. Narvaez off to the dot. Shot from Baucom went wide. He took a check there. Now Brady Nance enters for McKendree. Nance holds on to it. Getting pestered by McDonald, one of the more physical players for Oklahoma. Good effort there from the other McDonald. McKendree's side still sticking with the puck, and eventually Sooners will get a break. Baucom fires it through the legs of Sumner, and a premature whistle on Hasselhorst. Baucom was ready to bury that rebound. He's not going to get a chance to, as that whistle is blown dead.
I don't know if he had the angle to go get that puck, but he could definitely have set somebody up in the middle. He had two Sooners coming straight down the pipe, ready to tee up a one-timer.
Sooners were also on the tail end. Narvaez was losing gas on that for a wing option on that rush. Face-off won by Oklahoma. Ivan Gutierrez holds it, swings it to Payne. Will Blake ended up being the one that kept it in. Josh Bells steps into Voida. Alexandrov on the half wall.
And another new look for this kind of fourth line that they got. They got Bells back at center.
Yeah. Multiple adjustments being made. Griffin Joy has it in behind the net, feeds it right to Alexandrov.
I think that caught the back of the net. Tipped off the back of the net. He was looking for Will Blake in the center.
Hasselhorst plays it off the glass in behind his own net. Just a little over 5 minutes to go in this middle frame. Carson Spear on net. Hasselhorst meets him.
Hasselhorst really coming out of his net and blocking down these angles, not allowing the Sooners really strong opportunities, I would say. He's really shutting it down, making him hit him in the chest.
Sooners getting that shot counter higher and higher. Started out strong in the first. It's abated a little bit in this middle frame.
About 7 shots in this middle frame so far, but obviously the penalty kills for the Sooners have, had to put some work in.
Face off for Davenport as Lonsdale was booted from a false start. Spear trying to hold it in for Oklahoma. Backhand pass by Amala. Hasselhorst was a little bit uncomfortable there, not knowing where that puck was. Amala again, held in by McDonald. Amala lets that go by him. Ben Alexander there, shot from distance, missed. More of a dump back in. Spear into the corner, holds up, trying to play it off for Charlie Blake, can't. And McKendree goes the other way. Jack Sumner dumps it in. Payne playing this out there with Reichel Davis charging. Sumner, now Davis in front of the net. McKendree getting set up here. Davenport back to Sumner. Sumner shot tipped down by Lonsdale, but didn't have a good angle to get that on net. Mike Amala has speed, has space. Mike Amala, couple of moves. Mike Amala scores! What a goal from the rookie, and the Sooners double their lead in Edmond.
Yeah, just a very strong move by Mike Amala, straight down the center ice, beating the defenseman through his legs.
That's exactly what the Sooners needed. So McKendree was getting set up in their offensive zone, starting to look comfortable for just a second. You see that tip shot there going wide of Payne. And then Mike Amala, all by himself, dances, splits the D, makes a move, and buries it past Hasselhorst for the Sooners' second goal of the night.
Really kind of the same kind of move that Joy made, except for Joy went to the outside, and Mike Amala obviously looks like it. He moved that into the 5-hole.
Now Begich looking to respond for McKendree.
But kind of the only looks that the Sooners have gotten real opportunities on have been moving Hasselhorst side to side.
Yeah, it's something to where if McKendree has some answers to this, Keel enters, blows a tire, they're going to have to try to exploit more and more, because what they were doing in the end of that first period and the start of the second one was not working. Good call out there, Willie.
I'm doing my best.
Rasansky gets it over to Begich, who plays it into the corner. Kagan, first one to it. Alex Kent has it. Monticelli getting physical. Kagan get turned up by Rosansky just a little bit. Monticelli has plenty of space to work with here to break this out. And just too far on that pass, no icing. It was playable by Voidup. So now the Sooners double their lead, and the difference between last night and this night is McKendree had a goal on the board. Begich trying to make that happen. Begich throws a shot on a Payne. Rebound. Had just enough distance on it to not be a problem. Trey was there to bury it. Had it landed where he needed it.
Yeah, Payne finding that one off with his right shoulder and kind of caressing off of him into the corner. That was picked up by Narvaez.
Turnover here, Reichel Davis. Joe McCormick trying to work this zone. Breaking the seal on Grayson Payne would give them a lot of momentum going into this third period. Shot fired wide. Alexander trying to play it down low to McCormick. Turned over. Gutierrez just misses Baucom. They're going to call this icing. Puck slowed down just a little bit, but Brady Nance won the race.
Yeah, Brady Nance, one of the faster players on this McKendree team from what we've seen, and really able to just beat out Baucom on that race to the puck.
2:32 left. Sooners lead 2-0. Defensively, they have been looking good and with sound goaltending, making life difficult for the Bearcats so far to open up these first two games. Puck held into the corner. Narvaez is down on it, and was for a moment. Ref nearly blew it dead. Ivan Gutierrez has it in behind Payne, drops it off for Narvaez. Narvaez trying to stretch pass over to Bicom, turns it over, centering feed for McCormick, or excuse me, check that in a second. I believe that's Trey scores, and all of a sudden it's a 2-1 ball game. That was Ben Uchez, rather, for McKendree, opening the scoring on Grayson Payne.
Yeah, just a very good play coming out of the corner, and an easy kind of shot right on the low glove side, beating Grayson Payne.
Yeah, that turnover started all the way back from Narvaez, who tried to stretch it to Baucom and just missed. Got picked off by Alexandrov, and a couple of nice moves, lackadaisical defense. And McKendree makes things a 2-1 game.
Yeah, the Sooners getting a little slow in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Can't really be taking their foot off the gas, I should say. And really giving a lot of opportunities for this McKendree team to come back into this game.
Pass played forward through the zone. Hacked at by Alexander. Alexandrov dumps it in to Payne. Payne plays it in behind his net. Jack Sumner with it, turns it over. Amala, most recent goal scorer for OU, turns it over to Uchez, the most recent goal scorer for McKendree. As he gets ran into and sandwiched by two Sooners, Spear and McDonald, who ended up taking the brunt of that, it seemed like. Had to get reset now. Turnover here. McDonald for McKendree fired one. Good pad save by Payne, and away goes Spear and Amala. Nearly a 2-on-1 there as Spear goes hard into the boards.
Yeah, Grayson Payne getting that one with just his toes. I guess Ty does not go to the runner.
Huh. I mean, it even looked like for a moment maybe Davenport had the lead stride there, but we're going to. Coach for McKendree pleading his case. We're listening in. Referees stating their case that it should be down on the other end. They're a lot more certain about this one than they were that one in the first period, which definitely should have been at center ice.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of, I don't know, if it was going the Sooners' way, we might be complaining about it a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good place to leave that at. Davenport trying to clear it. Can't. Reichel Davis working into the corner. Bells and McDonald as a high stick caught up into Griffin Joy. Puck into the bench. will give us a stoppage in play.
Yeah, Griffin Joy took that high one. I don't think either of the refs saw it. But again, the Sooners not really finding their stride down low. You know, not cycling as much as they usually do, or in the last couple games that we got to watch.
They're also not winning as many puck battles as they had been the last couple homestands that we've seen on the road as well, which had been kind of their mantra, or at least, you know, Coach Arvanitis' mantra is those puck battles. As Reichel Davis one-on-one with Stuckey. Davis centering feed for Davenport, just a bit too wide. Now Davenport swings it out in front of Payne. Shot from the point, tipped and out of play. Good block there by Josh Bells, but a dangerous rush, and Reichel Davis had Davenport, but just a little bit too far out in front of him.
Yeah, and good job by Stuckey. He was able to cut down that angle and make sure that that puck couldn't come over, at least cleanly.
Yeah. So 25 seconds left. Sooners lead 2-1. This is now looking very similar to how last night went, score included.
Yeah, except for the Sooners, instead of scoring 2 goals after they scored their goal, they scored it
before
this.
Yeah.
Time.
A little bit
But kind of the same look with the shots, too.
Yeah.
The Sooners were really leading in those first 2 periods in shots.
Davenport and Josh McDonald getting into it a little bit in front of us. Tristan Glass, bank pass to Monticelli. This is going to be it for the period. Monticelli, wrist one, scores! Nate Monticelli says, give me some cheddar, baby. Are you kidding me?
Wow, Nate Monticelli with another great shot going low glove on Hasselhorf. And it all started with a good, clean breakout by the Sooner defenseman.
The Wisconsinite adds his 4th goal on the season on the rush. He's got 4 goals in 4 games and looks as hot as ever for this OU team, and they restore their 2-goal lead. You got to look at this here. That great bank pass from Tristan Glass sprung forward Monticelli, who just ripped it.
And such a well-placed shot, too. I think he fooled Hasselhorf because Hasselhorf looked like he was ready for it to go high.
Yep.
And Nate Monticelli taking a nice low shot into the bottom left corner.
Mind games being played here, and Sooners get that 3-1 lead. Before we go to another Elijah Lena intermission report, we would like to welcome OU Hockey's newest corporate sponsor, Appliance for Less. Family-owned and veteran-owned for all your appliance needs. Go by 2 of their 5 locations, Northwest OKC and Norman, 8105 Northwest Expressway Street, OKC, 73162, and 1302 North Interstate Drive, Norman, Oklahoma, 73072. Free delivery and 10% off. Store-wide this weekend only for all hockey fans. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, Sooner Nation, to your second intermission report. I am joined in the booth by Christian Markey himself. Christian, we got a lot to unpack there. Second period started off kind of slow. Sooners not doing too much. McKendree kind of bouncing back, getting some good coverage in the Sooners zone there. But then the goals got unleashed. Mike Amala with that one-timer that got saved. But then with that solo effort there and that first goal there, let's go ahead and talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, Sooner fans, no guest speaker today for your intermission reports like we had the blessing of Josh Bells last night. I will do the guest honors. But yeah, so Hasselhorst kind of playing shades of Grayson Payne on that cross-crease save that he made on the one-timer. And then Amala bringing shades of Joe McCormick's power play goal last night, kind of roofing it. And that gave the Sooners a 2-0 lead, which we hadn't seen them do. Because the last game ended 2-1 final, and so Sooners hadn't jumped out to a 2-goal lead this series. Neither team had, and then eventually McKendree did find an answer.
No, totally. Yeah, and that McKendree goal there, it looks like it took a bounce off one of the defenders, I think, went to go block a shot. It took a bounce and found its way into a Bennett Uchaz with that goal there to put McKendree on the board there.
Yeah, Uchaz did a great job finishing that, beating Payne glove side. Didn't really have too much of a chance. The Sooner defense kind of fell asleep, and that turnover is what started the problems for them. And then towards the end of this period, which is what we saw also last night with that goal scored by Nate Monticelli. Nate Monticelli, once again, at the end of the second period, kind of doing it by himself. He's beaten Hasselhorst and Skirpin in near similar areas, two different goalies, but same kind of placement of that shot, which is not something we've seen from him this year, or last year rather, but we've started to see from him this year.
No, totally. And with Monticelli, speed coming into play here, he got that feed from Davidson from the neutral zone, and that just kind of kickstarted him. He was able to generate momentum off of that pass, which I think is what contributed to getting the goal. It was just the speed at which he attacked the net. Not something we see a lot from Monticelli. It was good to see him step up there. And yeah, put the Sooners up with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where we leave things off before we get to the start of this third and final period. Don't go anywhere, Sooner hockey fans. We'll be right back with the start of third. Welcome back, Sooner Nation. Bringing you this third period action. Sooners doubling their lead towards the tail end of that period. Nate Monticelli playing mind tricks. Skirpin, so he beat Skirpin and Hasselhorst twice, same spot, or similar style shot, rather, from that left side entering. And the Sooners will probably do similar to what they did last night in the preservation aspect of things, dropping forwards, maybe putting out an additional D player.
Yeah, more of a trap look. They'll probably sit back, not really forecheck as much. But we'll see what they decide to do. I know in the first 10 minutes, Pete usually likes to keep it kind of similar to how the game's been rolling. And then after the first 10 in the second half of this third period, they usually get into that trap on the breakouts and stuff, dumping the pucks in, making sure not to make any big mistakes.
Both benches getting fired up for this third and final frame. McCormick tied up on the face-off. Tisch has it. Voida trying to spring out and ahead for McKendree. McCormick gets tripped up by Amala. More incidental contact into the boards, but McKendree gets set up. Tisch at the point, wrists it wide. Blake first man to it on the half wall. A couple of stick lifts there. Carson Spear fighting hard. Two Bearcats in there with Spear and Blake. Puck comes out.
Nobody was on that point for the Bearcats. Looking to spring more into the middle area.
Voida taking time that he doesn't necessarily have to get set up, but wants to be right.
And here we go. OU kind of getting into that trap again.
Trey goes down for McKendree. He did a good job hacking that down out of midair, keeping it low. Gutierrez takes a slash onto the elbow, flings it into the zone. Narvaez gets picked off by Keel. Keel springs it forward. Rasansky dumps it. That was before the red line, and icing is called. Good heads-up read by the official there.
Yeah, I think he had a step coming back into that to win that icing race. And we'll see, it looks like they're going to be setting up on the left side, or the right side of Hasselhoff. This Narvaez line.
Narvaez out there with Kent. Kent wins the face-off to McDonald. Flings it off the ice. That one will have enough pace for icing. We'll do it again.
Yeah, we'll see if it's the same play. Again, the Sooners not winning as many face-offs as we've seen in the past, but kind of more controlling the pace of play, I would say, today, especially in the second half of the game.
There haven't been a lot of question marks other than that sloppy D-zone possession that led to the Ukachez goal. Other than that, they've been pretty intentional with their moves. As Davison has space, Davison blocker save by Hasselhorst.
I think that got the top of the stick.
He had two ways to shoot that. Could have gone glove side, could have gone blocker side, elected blocker side, and Hasselhorst got enough on it, whatever part of the equipment it hit. But it was one of the better open looks OU's had despite their 3 goals in this game.
Yeah, Davidson definitely wanted to score in front of his parents since they flew out from New Jersey this weekend.
Yeah, homecoming weekend here. Lots of families, friends in town. Of course, Ole Miss as well. Stuckey fires one. Rusanski takes a dive.
Boo Ole Miss.
Boo Rebs. But
Boo Rebs.
we will also bring you action. That's going to be definitely icing. Bring that back down. We'll still have action for you guys tomorrow night, 7 o'clock puck drop, same as the last 2 nights. We will have an alumni broadcast for you guys. Caleb Shaw, Amy Acevedo making her way down from Topeka, Kansas, and Matt Bowling as well will join us in the booth and make the call for the third and final game of this series. Always great to have the Unks back in town.
Even though I'm older than
Yeah.
all 3 of them. Actually, I think
Caleb might have an edge, or Matt might.
No, I'm older than Caleb.
Okay.
Matt Bowling definitely does. He's older than me.
Rasansky in the neutral zone looking to spring forward. Begic leading goal scorer for McKendree's been kept quiet so far in these 2 games. He's had chances, but nonetheless, OU's been great defensively with him. Dealing with that, Monticelli, toe drag. Monticelli releases it. Great shot, just right on a Hasselhorst. He had a chance. There's Cade Martin and Alexander getting a little bit of a joust.
Yeah, a little chit-chat after going towards the net.
Something we didn't see yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it getting a little more physical today and a couple big hits. McKendree, I don't, knowing who they kind of play against, more of a speed game up in the north area, or the Midwest, I should say.
Yeah.
Versus here, which is so physical with Colorado and both the Arizona teams and UCO, of course.
Racing there. Yeah, that's a good point that you bring up, because although it's still ACHA and it is still Division I, very rarely does OU play outside of their division, or at least Division I, rather. And so it's kind of cool seeing these different types of teams in these different conferences and how that play varies throughout the conferences, because all we know here at Arctic Edge, for the most part, is trying to knock the other guy off the puck and getting as physical as possible. A lot of extracurriculars, as I like to say, happen in these games. And when you have an opponent that focuses more on the game itself and things like speed and finesse, you don't get that as much. And so that's what's been the contrast in this series that we've seen from series past against other WCHL opponents.
Yeah, a lot more, again, physical play, and, all the WCHL likes to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see each other 4 times a year, especially the Colorados and UCO. There's a lot of chit-chat on that ice, and not a lot of friends.
Nope.
Missouri State also.
Yeah,
although I never had a problem with anybody on Missouri State.
Centering feed on the backhand of Will Blake evaded everybody. We will see the Ice Bears Halloween weekend. Offsides there against Joy. Join us for that broadcast. We'll have you coverage for both games. Also 7 o'clock start time. And the Sooners will look to potentially continue their win streak, barring what happens in the final 16 minutes of this game.
And tomorrow.
And tomorrow as well, yes. There's always tomorrow.
Always tomorrow.
Until there's Game 7 and you're the Maple Leafs.
Hey. Relax. We lost to Buffalo today. Yeah. Never a good sign when you're losing to Buffalo.
Yeah, and I want to talk about, being from Dallas, diehard Stars fan, the Adrian Kempe overtime winner last night, hitting the horns down celly in the American Airlines Center, had me feeling very conflicted as a diehard OU fan and a University of Texas hater, but obviously a big fan of the Stars is a wrist shot from Will Blake. He catches a piece of an elbow there towards the end of that from Ukachez.
Well, being a LA guy myself, I enjoyed both parts of that.
Yeah.
The Stars obviously doing very well in the playoffs every year, so it's nice to watch one of the top dogs get taken out sometimes.
Yeah. Well, just hope the Kings don't face the Oilers in the first round for the
property
year.
Property of Edmonton.
That puck from Alexandrov was nowhere near being covered or stopped on a Grayson Payne.
Grayson Payne got very fortunate the ref could not see it from the angle that he was at.
If there's moments to get up and yell from your own bench, McKendree had a very good case for that there, as they've actually had a couple of cases this game so far.
For both teams, there's been there was one on Hasselhorst that was squeaking, but definitely 2 or 3 are for Grayson Payne down there.
We're gonna get I would call that definitely a make-up icing call, as Voida had a very easy play on that as it dribbled down the end, but icing's called.
But yeah, I don't know with the Leafs. It's just not our year.
You guys could use a guy like Marner.
Oh, that hurt me. You hurt me.
I'm sorry, Willie. Shot flutters in on Payne. Fluttered wide, rather. Tie up along the half wall on our blind spot up here in the booth. Both players from both teams fighting hard. Gutierrez comes away with it. Still being pestered, though, by Alexandrov from McKendree. Gets stick by Amal to spring forward Charlie Blake. And Blake, who has been dominating offense for the Sooners in goals and assists, has been kind of quiet this weekend.
I wouldn't necessarily say an off weekend, though, because he's been playing well.
Right.
He just hasn't scored or, you know, there hasn't been some goals that have been buried. But did he get the assist for the Micah Mala goal? I don't think he did either.
No, it was
Tristan Glass and one of the
Tristan Glass got the assist for the Monticelli goal, and then I would say the Micah Mala goal was almost unassisted.
Well, oh, you're right. Yeah.
Alexandrov has it for McKendree, dumps it down. McDonald. They're going to call that icing. There's a race in there. Officials making sure the correct Bearcats stay on the ice.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Repeat that. We might not have heard that on air.
Give me your players or I'm going to take your D. I've never heard of some ref pulling defensemen off the bench that might not have been on the ice.
Huh.
I wasn't like, would he throw the forwards off?
Right.
Just have 5 defensemen out there for the Bearcats?
Well, and the McKendree bench kind of just staring back at the officials as Tristan Davison went down and was getting hammered by Brady Nance. The rebound from Nance, comes in. McKendree's getting an attack going here. We'll focus on that for a moment before it's taken away by Davison. Narvaez enters. Narvaez again. That shot just squeaked through Hasselhorst. Centering feed out to Bockham.
That was a very nice move by Narvaez.
Another turnaround chance from Bockham. Glove down by Hasselhorst. Yeah, the McKendree bench was just kind of staring back at them at the referee, and I want to talk about this because they weren't doing anything. They were keeping their players out there that were supposed to be out there, and, you know, not quite sure why that conversation happened.
Yeah, and it was like the forwards didn't come off, and the D did, but then you're going to just pull the D back on and put forwards that were already on the ice off? Like,
yeah.
I don't know how that's going to operate, but Davidson taking a kind of a cross-check to the back or back of the head and giving some lip towards the McKendree bench.
And the other way, Brady Nance on that chance for McKendree. Try to reduce this lead for the Bearcats. Face-off one. Monticelli fans still stayed with it despite being pulled at. Nance was grabbing the stick of Monticelli there, making it hard for him to get free. Keel pinned Glass into the boards in corner.
And a big hit by Tristan Glass.
Physicality is really starting to ramp up here. More of what we're accustomed to, WCHL style. The chirping as well. Davidson giving some lip to the McKendree bench as he got off for his shift. Monticelli nearly got sprung free there as Caden Martin laid the lumber.
And I would say a similar size team for both teams. So I wonder how this will work out for both teams.
Yeah, if stuff starts flying, yeah, who's going to have the upper hand in terms of size?
Yeah, and Carson Glass giving me some candy from the penalty box.
Thank you, K. Glass. Very nice of him.
He knows my sugar was getting low.
Gutierrez takes the face-off for the Sooners. Josh Bell's giving Rasansky a check, and they're going to call a penalty on OU for that. Call that a trip.
I think the refs are trying to kind of make sure this game doesn't get out of hand. Obviously, they got one more.
They called that a hook. That's where I don't see. Not that it matters, because 2 minutes is 2 minutes, regardless of what the call is. But they're going to call that a hook. Bell's more shoved him than he did hook him on that. But nonetheless, a McKendree power play. They're 0 for 4 on the night. Sooners having to do some work. 12:53 left. Kent, the Bearcats' best face-off man, will stand out there looking to win this cleanly. Lonsdale on the back end of things, waiting to receive it. We're going to get a false start on McKendree.
Yeah, Kent not too happy with Tristan Glass and the ref there. A little slow into the face-off dot, maybe.
Rosansky will step in place of Kent, who wins the face-off. Tish has it for the Bearcats. Kent will get things set up here for McKendree. Tish from the point, shot tipped on goal. Payne has it, stuffed it. And that was Rosansky in front of the net that landed on Payne. If Alex Kagan was there, he would be buried into the ice.
Well, Josh gave him a good shot from behind.
Face-off going to be held to the right of Grayson Payne this time. Just going to switch things up. Rosansky's going to stay on the dot instead of Kent. Glass will stay out there regardless because he's that good on the face-off dot. Loses this one, though. Tish holds the point. Lays a shot. Payne fighting off 2 sticks from McKendree players looking to tip that.
Yeah, very good traffic from McKendree in front right now.
Lonsdale centering feed. Gutierrez didn't know where it was. It was in his skates. Lonsdale recovers. McDonald, first one to it, trying to clear it on his backhand. Can't. Tish holds. Swings it over to Lonsdale. A couple of nice moves from 14 there, keeping it in. Lonsdale over to Tish. Good cycle here from McKendree. Kent working in. Shot caught traffic in front, never made it. Begich over to Tish. Rebound for Begich. Scores! Oh my goodness, what a goal. Bar down on the power play. Cuts the lead to 1 for OU.
Yeah, he definitely hit the middle. He hit the bar in the middle. And I think that rebound just was lost by Grayson Payne. It was obviously blocked. Not much he can do about that one.
He was kind of set up lower than he would have maybe if he knew when and where that shot was coming from.
Yeah,
trying to look through bodies.
Yeah, and McKendree able to just move up, really set up. OU playing way more defensive on that PK than they usually do. And just able to find some opportunities throwing the puck towards the net.
Officials giving a word to both teams on that face-off. Puck chopped forward. Now Mike Amala has it for an answer, and a good block from Jack Sumner on the defensive side for McKendree. Shot from Charlie Blake. Went wide. Almost an immediate response from Amala. Sooners lose it. Jonathan Davenport goes the other way for the Bearcats. Davenport loses it himself and then loses himself as well.
Never a good feeling.
No. He has to touch up. Kagan's just going to let that float in. So Sooners concede that power play goal, but they're still 1 for 5, which is by no means bad. But when you give up that many shorthanded opportunities, it's going to bite you, and it did. Davenport springs forward Lonsdale.
As they say, it's just a matter of time when you're giving up so many opportunities on the power play for the opposing team.
Yeah, 10 minutes, a full half a period. Essentially, a power play time, obviously not concurrent. You get a stoppage and play here. So just north of 10 minutes, shots, 32-20 in favor of Oklahoma.
Yeah, and McKendree kind of finding themselves right now. They're moving the puck well. They're coming in with a lot of speed, playing way more physical. And I don't think the Sooners were kind of ready to get into this dogfight in the third period.
No, because it's not what they saw last night in the third, only holding a 1-goal lead for most of it. And McKendree's come out with some action, some emphasis, some intention. And the Sooners are having to play catch-up. Davison over to Payne. Stays onside. Shot from Narvaez. And Hasselhorst is down after Davison got pushed into him. They're going to call goalie interference on Tristan Davison.
Wow.
I want to take another look at this because it's cause for conversation. Hasselhorst seems to be okay. 2 minutes for goaltender interference. Another McKendree power play loading. Discussion happening between both teams. Get another look at this here. Replay's giving us a difficult time, but nonetheless, a McKendree power play. From my angle, I really believe Davison was ushered more into the net than he did on his own power. And
yeah, and it was the back referee that was that made that call, and now he's
giving the chirping signal like you're talking too much to the OU bench.
He's taunting the OU bench almost, which is interesting because he's been here a lot, and
yeah,
you know, Pete's never really one to yell at the ref.
I've only seen it happen one time, and that was that infamous UCO game last year.
Yeah, well, Pete was ready to walk over and have his own little fight.
Lonsdale looking to get set up for the Bearcats. Begic down low, Rosansky back to Lonsdale. Swings it wide to Tisch. Tisch over to Alex Kent. Kent, centering feed. Lonsdale shot. Netting off.
Oh, I do not
Payne.
like. That's a, see, the whistle there, even though the net is off, if Alex Kagan's winning that puck race, he should have the ability to go clear the puck.
Yeah, Payne was just trying to push off his post to get across to the other side.
Yeah, and Payne doing the push, obviously net comes off. But without having the possession in McKendree's favor, if OU were to clear that puck, you know, you got a time to fix the net.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And now OU's not able to change and get new bodies on the ice.
Shot from Begic. Blocker saved by Payne. He was quiet for this series until that other power play goal, which made things a 3-2 game. This one will ride along up onto the boards and out of play. An interesting path of travel, but nonetheless, it's going to allow the Sooners to get some fresh bodies out there and kill some more time.
Always finding new bounces at Arctic.
Yeah, right. Charlie Blake working on Begic. Begic on his backhand to Lonsdale. Charlie Blake nearly picked his pocket.
He's got that long stick. He's able to just get it in there and cause some issues stick handling.
Spear trying to do it himself. Can't. Passes it right back to Begic. Cross ice. Feed looking for Kent. Would have been a great opportunity for McKendree as they will have to go all the way back. Hasselhorst doing his best work to keep this going for Oliver Keel.
And not a ton of PK time for Spear, but Pete obviously trusting in him a lot.
Now Charlie Blake shorthanded working on Hasselhorst. Shot, rebound. Went just away from him. That's Charlie Blake's second shorthanded opportunity he's had, similar, and has done the correct thing, not trying to hold up or do anything fancy, just putting it on net. As Spear pins Davenport. Alexander trying to work the puck out of that scrum. And Stuckey falls onto Alexander.
Yeah, Stuckey, a big, strong kid, just pushing him over.
Sooners kill that power play. McKendree goes 1 for 6 on the evening. Gonna get a hand pass here.
We're kind of, I don't want to say the refs are losing the game a bit, but it's kind of been spotty for both sides in this last frame.
Yeah, it has, and it's kind of one of those things you just want to get to the end of the game.
Yeah, and if you're OU, you know, with the last couple penalties here, bringing McKendree a lot of momentum. And
Tristan Davison entering the zone. Davison still with the puck. Centers it out for Gutierrez. It was a wide open cage. Shot tipped out in front. Hacked at Davison. You can tell he's playing like his parents are in the crowd. That was a great zone entry.
Yeah, looking like a man on a mission right now. Not happy after that that penalty call that he got.
Yeah. Lonsdale getting attended to by head trainer for OU, Anita Clark. Just looks like a cut or a scrape on the face. Expect him to return. Narvaez's shot, blocker save. That kind of came out of nowhere for Hasselhorst. Puck played into the corner. Joy to meet and greet it first. Narvaez centering feed for Joy. Evaded sticks, and out goes McKendree. Trey dumps it. Spins it off the wall. Blake trying to spring forward an OU rush. Narvaez took an awkward angle to it, and McCormick will meet him at the half wall. We've seen a lot more of these wall scrums in this game and towards the end of this game as well than we did the first. Dangerous skate comes up and out from Brady Nance. The other way goes Will Blake. Will Blake enters. Wrist shot Man, that was a dangerous chance for Will Blake. I lost my words there for a second.
Yeah, that popped right into the center, and Will Blake almost got his own rebound.
He scores those types of goals, and I was expecting it there. Now, shot from Bells pops over Hasselhorst and wide as a pretty obvious penalty from
And that was right in front of the
McKendree.
referee.
Should have been called.
I was a little...
I'm going to stop talking about it.
Well, Griffin Joy putting in work down low and taking an extra shot after it.
Yeah, working without a stick as well, and that's what was lost when that holding took place. Joe McCormick trying to center it, patted away by Payne. McKendree looking to get set up, losing precious time as Monticelli will take it away, skate it himself. Nate Monticelli chopped at it, ended up taking himself down. Caden Martin plays it softly, smartly, back to Ivan Gutierrez. A couple of head waggles, trying to create space. Monticelli.
He did a good job of it.
Yeah.
Really holding on to that puck, letting his teammates get moving.
Tristan Glass just dumping it low. Monticelli giving some pressure to Alexander, who goes down.
Yeah, maybe a little lucky on that one. Monticelli got him up a little high.
Yeah. Jack Sumner trying to leave it. Does for Ukachez. Martin. Back to Ukachez, who was offsides when he touched it. His left skate was over the blue zone. Couple of checks. Caden Martin. The officials reminding Caden Martin for the retaliatory strike. Is that smart? And the answer is no. And the frequency in which penalties have been called in this game has been maintained. Tristan Glass having a bit of a conversation.
Yeah, and the McKendree head coach having a conversation, saying it was a punch. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised with the frequency
Yeah,
of calls
yeah.
that they did not call that one.
Right.
You know, we've given up like as a reffing crew, you've been calling these kind of penalties all game, and now we've put our whistles away.
Well, and there's been 10 in total between the two teams.
And in my opinion, a couple of the most egregious ones have been in this last 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And they haven't been called, so.
Everybody's got to establish a game of their own. Players, officials, us up here in the booth. It's not always a given on a certain night. This one should be icing. Nate Payne beats Begich to the dots.
It's a lot of speed coming from Nate Payne right
It's
there.
about the most you'll see out of him. Other than that UCO goal last year.
Oh man, that celebration I think that's the fastest I've ever seen him skate.
It was post-goal.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even on the goal. It was post-goal. He was sprinting down the ice.
But that was an important icing race win from Nate Payne to put this face-off on the other end of the ice and leave these tired bodies out there. Shot from the face-off by Davison, blockered away by Hasselhorst.
Yeah, that was a huge win. Obviously, not only for getting the puck away from your own net, but keeping these tired bodies out there and trying to establish offensive opportunities.
Keel sets up. McDonald, who makes an ill-advised pass. Hasselhorst tries to head it away. Honestly, in my opinion, that's the better move than sticking something up there to block it down and risking it taking an awkward deflection. But
I never understood when you're a goalie and you know it's going over, like 100%
don't
know
mess
it's
with
going
it.
over.
Yeah.
Don't mess with it. Just
Yeah.
leave it. Yeah, it looks kind of awkward that you're not going for a puck, but you know it's missing. So
yeah, and especially as a goalie, you know anything can happen more than anybody out there. So yeah, that was a fun little attempted header by Hasselhorst.
I mean, the amount of time the puck gets lost in the goalie's feet, you see it in the NHL. I feel like it happened to Gage Redmond more than anybody when I was playing.
So now we're entering 3:30 left in this first period. Will Blake cannot get that puck out. Eventually it's taken away by Gutierrez, who flips it over to Joy. Sooners do exit. Good pass from Griffin Joy over to Will Blake, who fires that. One of the fastest wrist shots I've seen in here from Will Blake trying to end this thing.
Yeah, Will Blake trying to put double the Sooners' lead here to 2, and Hasselhorf up to snuff for it. But again, another strong play by that fourth line. Griffin Joy making a great pass across. You know, there's a lot of positives looking at that fourth line and how they've been playing today.
Absolutely.
Obviously, they have one of the goals that's on the board.
Yeah, and Coach Arvanitis is definitely seeing that as well. They're probably going to be one of the lines that tries and finishes this one, as it's almost time to look towards the other end of the ice and see what Hasselhorst does in the dying embers of this game.
Yeah, and if you're the Sooners, you're just trying to get these pucks out and pucks in. You know, you're not really trying to do anything fancy.
Yep. Payne puts a mid on that for face-off. Fell to his glove side. McCormick to take it for the Bearcats. Glass on the other end for the Sooners. Face-off one. McDonald trying to get it out the best he can. Takes a couple awkward bounces. Bodies tumble. McDonald working hard. McCormick kind of just sits on it. But Sumner has it squirt free. Couldn't hold it.
And that's a big puck battle won by the Sooners. Definitely needing to get that puck out and kind of calm everything down, getting it back into the Bearcats end.
Bouncing puck on the center ice logo. Taken away. Brady Nance entering for McKendree. Good job there from Grayson Payne. Springs forward Monticelli. Monticelli just dumping it down, killing off time. Hasselhorst will start looking at the Bearcat bench, but first Spear had it for a moment, turned it away. A bit sloppy on that possession. And offsides against McKendree.
Yeah, and that's a play by Spear where you just got to get that puck back in. You can't really turn that over because you got two guys down low if you're the Sooners. And McKendree has all the momentum coming back up the ice because they are circling all back in their own zone and moving towards the offensive zone.
Hasselhorst remains on the ice for McKendree. Expect him to go in the next couple of seconds. Spear and Charlie Blake unable to get it out. Ukachez working hard in the corner, being pestered by Spear, taking it into the corner himself. Puck around the other side of Payne. Yeah,
that puck popped right out in front. Heads up play. I think that was Nate Payne that gloved it down and back into the corner.
Now Keel holds up for a moment. Puck stayed in, they say. Hasselhorst still on the bench. Still on the ice. Second time I've done that.
I'm surprised he's not on the bench yet.
Yeah.
They had some good opportunities to get their sixth guy out there.
If I'm a betting man, he goes on this rush.
I'd be calling him now. There's a minute left. You got to get him out of the net. Get that extra guy out.
He now does come out. Extra attacker on for McKendree. Will Blake has a yawning cage to shoot at. Elects to just flip it down. Probably a smarter chance there. So it didn't catch traffic. Yeah. Lonsdale back out there for the Bearcats after being attended to. He's got space to work with down low behind Payne. Centers it. Good stick work by Kagan blocking that, and an even better job flipping it out as it evades the glove of Alex Kent. McKendree.
Yeah, near for the Sooners, you want to pressure now. Make sure they don't have a clean entry. It's a great job by Bells and Kagan right there.
Yeah, Kagan not jumping on that puck and leaving a vulnerable position for an entry there. Payne sees it all the way into his glove. So a face-off here with 22 seconds left. If the Sooners are able to win it, we're going to get a timeout here. We'll step away for just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Sooner Nation. 22 seconds left in this game. Timeout was called by McKendree. That's why we stepped aside if you're just joining us. Sooners looking to get their 8th straight win. Go up in this 3-game series 2-0. This face-off will decide most of that as we get the battle of the 16s on the dot. Rosansky and Spear. Both guys go a little bit too early. Puck's dropped. Tied up. Spear.
He's just going to eat it in that corner.
Yep. It's good physical play by the Sooners. It's what they do best. It's what they're used to. McKendree trying to poke it free. Precious time down. Now 5 seconds left. Sooners drawing near. 3 seconds left. And that will do it. So the Sooners extend their win streak to 8.
No, Spear's going to get a lot of love from his teammates on that one. That is a
fantastic.
It's a hard play to make those along the boards, and definitely winning those winning the puck battles in between your feet. So great job by Carson Spear to end out that game.
Huge win for the Sooners. Back-to-back 1-goal wins. Such good goaltending from both Forden and Payne last night and tonight. Good effort from Nate Monticelli and Mike Amala. And the Sooners will head into tomorrow looking for their 9th. Before we go, we would like to welcome OU Hockey's newest corporate sponsor, Appliance for Less. Family and veteran owned for all your appliance needs. Go by 2 of their 5 locations, Northwest OKC and Norman, 8105 Northwest Expressway Street, OKC, 73162, and 1302 North Interstate Drive, Norman, Oklahoma, 73072. Free delivery and 10% off store-wide this weekend, only for all hockey fans. And remember, Sooner Nation, we get that alumni broadcast tomorrow night. We will be here for all your coverage. We look forward to you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for those who did tonight. We will see you tomorrow.